What if I told you OpenAI got caught using their rivals' AI tools to build GPT-5, and now they got banned? Let's dive into this wild AI drama and what it means for you as a coder or business owner. Recently, Anthropic revoked OpenAI access to their API after they apparently violated their terms of service ahead of the GPT-5 release. Christopher Nolte from Anthropic said, "Claude Code has become the go-to choice for coders everywhere. And so it was no surprise to learn OpenAI's own technical staff were also using our coding tools ahead of the launch of GPT-5. Unfortunately, this is a direct violation of our terms of service. According to Anthropic terms of service, customers can't use the service to build a competing product or service, including to train competing AI models, or reverse engineer or duplicate the services." OpenAI responded that it's industry standard to evaluate other AI systems to benchmark progress and improve safety. While we respect Anthropic's decision to cut off our API access, it's disappointing considering our API remains available to them. Finally, Nolte from Anthropic stated that they will continue to ensure OpenAI has API access for the purposes of benchmarking and safety evaluations, as it is a standard practice across the industry. So, what was OpenAI doing here? It's important to remember that this happened shortly before the GPT-5 release. Also, keep in mind that Anthropic term of service forbids using their tech to build competitor products or training competing models. And OpenAI is a direct competitor. So either OpenAI engineers used Claude Code to build software at OpenAI, which is quite funny, or OpenAI use Anthropic models output to improve their own models, or they make sure it's not falling short in performance before the big GPT-5 release, or all of those. Ironic, isn't it? This is not the first time tech companies ban competitors. For instance, other companies like Salesforce or Facebook cut access to some API or data from competitors in the past. It's also the second time Anthropic does it in a short period of time. After rumors of OpenAI acquiring Windsurf, a popular AI code editor, Anthropic revoked Windsurf access to their models. It won't be the last time it happens in tech, but it has concerning consequences that we will evaluate at the end of this video. Finally, a day before cutting OpenAI access to the Claude API, Anthropic announced new rate limits on Claude Code in response to excessive usage. We might have found a whale that was crushing their servers. Okay, so why Anthropic is so afraid of competitors having public access to their models? Because of product defendability. What's your value if you can be easily cloned? It's more important than ever for product builders, as AI lowers the barrier of entry to build software. However, companies building those AI frontier models are not exempt from replicability. An LLM is nothing more than a huge bunch of model weights, and they can be copied as easily as you copy a file. Also, architectures are converging as well as datasets. Thus, copying weights can be done in two ways. Copy-paste the model weights, unlikely to happen for big players. Train a similar model to match the output of your competitor model. If done correctly, the weights should converge to a similar model behavior. That's why Anthropic, and I'm sure other AI providers, have such term of service. The worst that can happen to them is getting replicated by their competitors and lose their edge. Are we surprised that AI providers are spying on each other? Nope. But according to OpenAI and Anthropic statements, it looks like big AI providers have special API access to each other for benchmarking and safety evaluation. I didn't know that, and it looks weird to me since, as we just saw, accessing the model's output, you can reverse engineer the AI capabilities. But I imagine that the companies are monitoring those special access carefully in usage and volume, and that's how Anthropic discovered that OpenAI was using the API unusually. Though Anthropic mentioned that they maintain the special access for benchmarking and safety evaluation. Nevertheless, OpenAI could still sign up again under a cover name. They might get into trouble if they get caught, but it's hard to prevent. Anthropic term of service raised some concerning points, although we can understand Anthropic's standpoint, as they don't want to help building OpenAI. This kind of product license is concerning if you are integrating AI deep in your business. As you get more and more dependent on AI companies, you are exposed to an end of service if they decide that you are building a competitive technology. Being a competitor is vague enough to cut your access for any reasons, causing huge problems to your business. Imagine AWS cutting your access to their service after you built your entire business there because you are building a competitor to one of their database service. For the common user, it's not that much of a problem, as the cost of switching provider will be low. But if you are a business offloading critical tasks to AI, you have to think through this carefully. Anthropic move to block OpenAI shows how fierce the AI race is getting and how fragile your business could be if you rely too much on one provider. Do you think Anthropic was right to cut off OpenAI access? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the AI world, give me a like or subscribe, that's greatly appreciated. See you in the next one.